On the news, race towards 2023 presidency tightens as Vice President Yemi Osinbajo declares ambition. APC national leader Bola Tinubu meets with party governors over presidential ambition. And federal government set to meet ASUU today after 56 days of strike. We're glad to have you join us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. The national leader of the All Progressives Congress and presidential aspirant Bola Tinubu has explained why he met with members of the Progressives Governors Forum on Monday. The meeting came less than 24 hours after Osinbajo hosted the governors at his Aguda House residence on Sunday evening, where he disclosed his intention to run for the APC presidential ticket. Briefing newsmen after the meeting, the former Lagos State Governor explained that he met with the governors to seek their support for his ambition to become Nigeria's president. When asked about the latest presidential declaration, the APC chieftain says he has no son grown enough to declare for the 2023 presidential election.
To seek collaboration, support, encouragement of my party, the APC, for my ambition and my mission to become the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The race to who becomes the flag bearer for the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, has gotten more competitive following the Vice President's declaration on Monday, with the APC expected to hold its primaries between April 4 and June 3, 2022. 7 aspirants have so far expressed interest to be Nigeria's next president. Those who declared their ambition earlier are APC leader and former Lagos Governor Bola Tinubu, the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State, Governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State, the former Abia Governor and serving Senator Orji Kalu, and former Imo Governor and Senator Rochas Okorocha. It has been speculated that Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State and the Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele may join the race. Although the APC is yet to zone the presidential slot to any part of the country, there are speculations that it could zone it to the south. To discuss this further, Charles Ideho, political affairs analyst, joins me now. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, this list alone, so far, I must add, looks quite intimidating. But how do you see this playing out, especially if the APC eventually decides to zone the presidency to the south?
Okay, well, first thank you for having me. When you look at races to any elected political offices, there are usually 2 groups, and the groups are the contenders and the pretenders. Even the ones you mentioned, about seven of them in all, as you said in your news, you also have pretenders among them. But it is not in my place here to say who the pretenders are and who the contenders are. But if you look at it, those ones who we might throw up as contenders, Osinbajo just joined them yesterday. If you know that even before now, there have been these deniers and counter-deniers whether he will be interested in that top slot or not. He will say no. Okay, at the time he said he was still consulting, and if you also watch that he has been shortly, if you will, going across the country, maybe preparatory to his aspiration or his vying for that position. So if you look at all this, I think Osinbajo's coming into the fray has, by my own reckoning, by my own estimation, has increased the level of quality of the aspirants in the APC fold. If you look at he himself, and what is also going to bring into the whole game, is going to change the narrative. He is going to be at the forefront of engendering issues-based campaign. While others may just be throwing moss at each other, Osinbajo may not do that. He might just be able to say, okay, because of his very cerebral, you know that he's also an orator. So I see Osinbajo changing the whole game, bringing in issues-based campaign to the whole issue. So that's what I just see about it. As I said, in the weeks to come, you are going to be looking at it and say that we see those who are actually the contenders and those who are the pretenders in the whole game for Lashade.
Now, let's talk about political appointees who have so far expressed interest. The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, and the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele. Now, the Electoral Act 2022 bars political appointees from voting or being voted for at a convention or congress of a political party for the purpose of the nomination of candidates for any election. Now, how do we reconcile this?
Well, let's put on record that the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, has not officially told anyone that he's interested in the job. What we are seeing as those who are his supporters are the ones who are throwing that thing up and then going to the media, printing banners, and also we saw a couple of cars they bought recently that were branded. So Emefiele himself, he has not on his own told Nigerians that he is interested, apart from Amechi, who is the current Minister for Transportation, who also declared his ambition a couple of days back. So I think Amechi has between now and May the 3rd to actually, for us to know whether he's actually serious, because after May 3rd, no appointee of government has the constitutional right to stand election, because when you look at the National Assembly has also gone to court to challenge that High Court that upheld Buhari, the case that went to court, that the court now said that the Electoral Act, that specifically Section 84, Subsection 12 should be deleted from the Electoral Act 2023. But the National Assembly has gone to court to challenge that. So there's a stay of action, there's a stay of execution on the High Court, the Federal High Court judgment. So when you look at it, Amechi himself, we have between now and the 3rd of May to actually say he was going to resign. But if you look at it, would Amechi resign prematurely when he knows that he has 1 year to serve? So that's why I said Amechi might just be one of the very few, the very first pretenders who might be saying in the race, because I personally do not see Amechi resigning 1 year before the expiration of the mandate that has been given to him by the president who appointed him. So, but for Emefiele, I think I would not want to count on that, because he has not openly declared his intention, apart from all these speculations and then that his supporters are selling to all of us as Nigerians. Folashade.
All right, indeed, Charles Ideho, political affairs analyst, thank you so much for your contribution. Following the declaration of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo to contest for president in the 2023 general elections, the Lagos State chapter of the Osinbajo Grassroots Organization, OGO, has urged the All Progressives Congress, APC, to give the mantle of the party to Osinbajo, as is the best man for the job. Olusoga Oweye, the Director General of the organization in Lagos State, says the Vice President has demonstrated his leadership qualities when he stood in for the President. He further urged Nigerians to devoid of sentiments in their choice of a leader and vote in Osinbajo come 2023, irrespective of their political affiliations.
This is the first time we are going to have a Vice President of Nigeria who has been so much involved in the economic activities of the country. He has been so much involved in the social agenda of the government, and he has delivered. When he was the acting president, the whole country knew. He's brilliant, exceedingly erudite, and he has delivered on all the assignments given to him by the president. So we know that he's loyal to the country, he's committed to the Nigerian project, and this is the best time for him. We are going to convince the party that this guy is love on the street. I've been to Sokoto, I've been to Kano, I've been to Uyo, I've been to Maiduguri, I've been to Abuja. Anywhere you go in Nigeria today, every poll conducted by research people in the last 12 months has shown that Osinbajo is the most accepted across the country.
The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, has linked some of the major problems facing Nigeria to the failure of the three arms of government to operate independently. Waba reviewed this in Abuja, the venue of a proposed meeting by the 36 state governors. Addressing the activists, the NLC president explained that the absence of local government system is contributory to the collapse of the security architecture of Nigeria. He also warned that deepening Nigeria's electoral process remains a mirage if credible election at the grassroots is not assured.
We are aware that the funds of the local government is now pocket money for the boys. Yes. We are aware that there is no credible election in the local government system. Yes. And therefore, the issue of joint account, we don't want that to happen again. No. The members of the National Assembly have done their bit. Yes. All those issues have been contained in the proposed constitutional amendment. Yes. We are also aware that those bills, as passed by the two chambers of the National Assembly, have been transmitted to the state houses of assembly. Yes. And therefore, we want them to do the needful. Yes. And lastly, is the issue of the parliament. There is the principle of separation of power between the executive, legislature, and also the judiciary. And we want that to be not only on paper, we want it also to be in practice. And that is why we have taken it as a major campaign to every nook and cranny, that every politician, be it chairman of a local government, be it members of the state assembly, they must endorse this bill on the autonomy of the local governments. They must endorse this bill for the autonomy of the judiciary, and they must endorse bill for the autonomy of the parliament. We say this with passion because we know it's going to improve on the woes that Nigeria is going through today.
Member representing Yagba Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Leke Abejide, has said that the new Electoral Act will make the 2023 general elections more credible and violence-free. Abejide explained that elections before now are usually rigged from collation centers, but now elections will be won from the polling units. The lawmaker added that the electioneering process has been strengthened through Electoral Act to the benefit of Nigerians, adding that that is why you see more credible people coming out for elective position, because they see that vote will now be counted.
This Electoral Act has come to at least correct so many anomalies, and especially the issue of these beavers coming now. If you go to court before in this time, they will tell you, and you say, okay, the card reader does not work. They say the law does not recognize it. Now all electronic gadgets can be used in electronic, so it can be used as evidence in court. So it's going to be more transparent. Election will be clear and clear. Once you're on ground, you win your election and go. And you help people, especially the masses, to enjoy more. Because anybody in power, we know that if he or she does not perform, he will not come back. Anybody that is a talk and want to rely on that, or you want to INEC to declare your results under duress, you are just deceiving yourselves. So I will advise those talk themselves that want to be candidate to change their attitude and become reasonable. Otherwise, that talk will take them nowhere.
Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State has said that he would not tolerate buck passing, but ensure that governors take responsibility for security in their states and are held responsible for breaches if he becomes the president of Nigeria in 2023. Governor Bello said this while answering questions from journalists at the second annual GYB seminar for political and crime correspondents and editors in Abuja on Friday. He insisted that he would not play politics with the security challenges in the country because it was a result of the failure of various administrations in the past.
I, as Commander-in-Chief, by the special grace of God, I will ensure every chief executives of the various federating units sit up and do their job. I will not tolerate any lackadaisical attitude or passing of buck to the center. I will ensure that the various units are strengthened so that they can take responsibility for whatever happened in their states. Technology needs to be deployed. I agree. Mr. President is doing his best to ensure that technologies are deployed. Majority of some of these crimes we face today are politically motivated. They are, especially the recent ones that we are witnessing. Issue of security can never be brought out to the public and discussed in total. Else you expose your country to danger.
The federal government, through the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, is set to meet with the Academic Staff Union of Universities today, Monday, April 11th, 2022. The Director of Press and Public Relations, Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment, Patience Onobia, in a notice of meeting sent to journalists on Monday, said Ngige will chair the meeting himself. The meeting will have in attendance representatives of the federal government and ASUU. ASUU on Monday, February 14, 2022, announced a 4-week total and comprehensive warning strike following the inability of the union and the federal government to reach common ground on the demands of university lecturers. Visual artist Saidoha Linus, popularly known as Mr. Danfo, has launched his body of work, Portraits of Public Figures in Lagos. Largely influenced by his immediate environment, Mr. Danfo uses geometric symbols and bright colors to capture the struggles of the average Lagosian. Our correspondent, Mr. Ladigun, gives more details in this report.
Danfo is the most outstanding symbolic brand of transportation in Lagos, southwest Nigeria. Because of its adaptability to the difficult and unstructured transport system in Lagos, the Danfo has become the symbol of the Lagos spirit. As a result, it has served as an inspirational source for different brands of creatives in Nigeria as a metaphor for the city's always on the move, hustling and bustling energy. One of such artists is Saidoha Linus, a minimalist painter who draws inspiration for his artworks from the nostalgic Danfo buses on the busy streets of Lagos. In this art exhibition at the Alliance Française Gallery, the multidisciplinary artist chronicles the busy daily life struggles in Lagos with 20 art pieces using the geometric designs peculiar to the Danfo buses.
With symbols and shapes, you can capture the essence of what you want to say, and it goes straight to the point. So that is why I have created portraits with geometric symbols representing regular people in our everyday lives, like the Okada man, the market woman, the Danfo driver, the agberos, and even the passengers and the conductors. So it's all like part of our everyday life. Everybody and everything is involved, and that's what makes our contemporary culture what it is today.
Popularly referred to as Mr. Danfo, the Delta State University alumni uses the bright color yellow, carefully constructed lines and simple shapes to draw attention and spark conversations about the situations in his immediate environment. He says his pattern of drawing makes it easy for his audience to interpret.
Emphatically concentrated on capturing my existence in the society today, or telling my story today, because I feel in the future it might be very relevant to them, to knowing what is happening or what happened in this time I'm living.
While expressing admiration for his expertise at capturing a lot in such simple detail, art enthusiasts at the event laud his talent and ability to carve a niche for himself in the complex world of art.
What I've seen today is the use of lines, shapes, what we call geometry. So when you go through the work, you will see stories rendered in a very simple way that is not complicated, and that's also very easy for anybody, any Harry, to understand.
If you come to look at the works, you find the yellow buses, which is quite significant into almost all the pieces he has done. For you to find an artist quite interested in these details is something that piqued my interest in coming to the show to see what the artists have done.
Although the Lagos State government has proposed a replacement for the Danfo buses, the yellow machine-like Volkswagen remains a part of the Lagos culture And with exhibitions like this, Saiduha intends to keep the culture alive. Simisola Adigun, TV360, Lagos.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, CBN grants MTN final approval to operate Payment Service Bank. Details of the story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. The national leader of the All Progressives Congress and presidential aspirant Bola Tinubu says he met with members of the Progressives Governors Forum on Monday to seek their support for his ambition to become Nigeria's next president. The meeting came less than 24 hours after Oshimbajo hosted the governors at his Aguda House residence on Sunday evening, where he disclosed his intention to run for the APC presidential ticket. We also told you that the federal government, through the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, is set to meet with the Academic Staff Union of the universities today, Monday, April the 11th, 2022. The Director of Press and Public Relations, Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment, Patience Unobia, in a notice on Monday sent to journalists, said Ngige would chair the meeting himself. But in case you missed any of our news bulletin, or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. Shanghai has carried out another round of mass COVID-19 testing, this time testing residents at least twice in a single day. It was the fourth consecutive day of citywide testing in Shanghai, which reported a record 23,600 new locally transmitted cases. Meanwhile, the curbs have sharply squeezed supplies of food and other essential goods for the city of 26 million, as numerous supermarkets have been short and thousands of couriers locked in. Well, we'll take another short break and return with more stories in business. To stay with us.
Welcome to Business News. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has granted MTN the final approval to operate as Momo Payment Service Bank Limited. The company secretary at MTN Nigeria, Uro Upana, disclosed this in a statement on Monday. The CBN guidelines explain that the key objective of issuing PSB licenses is to boost financial inclusion, especially in rural areas, and facilitate transactions. PSBs are expected to function in rural regions and areas where Nigerians do not have bank accounts. They are also expected to have at least 50% physical access points in these areas. But we'll take a break now and return with a review of the stock market. The first trading day of the week and the marginal increase we saw at the close of trading last week was sustained. The local bonds rose by 0.51% with over 120 billion naira added to the market capitalization. This gain we see is as a result of sell-off and buy interest by investors in the market. We see that 32 equities led by Nigerian Aviation Handling Company and United Africa Company of Nigeria filled the gainers counter, and they both recorded a combined 1 naira 50 kobo increase, while making making losses at the close of trading today. We see Academy and M-Benefit leading the losers counter with a 19 kobo loss. Activity chart is, however, all greens as we see 224 million units of shares valued at 3 billion naira exchanging hands in 5,946 deals. Well, quite a bullish start to open the new week, and hopefully we'll have a bullish trend throughout the week. On the foreign scene, the FTSE, the Dow Jones and the Nikkei are all in the negative territory. British stocks ended lower on Monday as data shows the economic slowed more than expected in February, intensifying worries about a cost of living squeeze. The Dow Jones also opened lower as tech stocks bore the brunt of sellings on Monday morning. Japan's Nikkei as well ended in the reds as heavyweight technology stocks tracked the Nasdaq lower, hit by the U.S. Federal Reserve's aggressive move to tackle inflation. But that's all on stock market reports. We'll go on a break now and return with the rest of the stories.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so... Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no. You don't need to do this. We're only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Okay, which came up with this one now? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Now on the foreign scene, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says thousands of Russian troops were amassing for a new offensive in the east, and Russia said it would not halt its military operation in Ukraine for any further peace talks. British intelligence said Ukrainian forces had already repulsed several Russian assaults in eastern regions. Russian forces were also pushing to establish control over the southern port city of Mariupol. The invasion, which Russia calls a special military operation, has led a trail of death of destruction that has drawn condemnation from Western countries and triggered concern about Putin's broader ambitions. And now in sports, Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel says his team will need a fantastic script to overturn a 2-goal deficit against Real Madrid on Tuesday and qualify for the Champions League semi-finals. Reigning European champions, Chelsea have been destabilized by the enforced sale of the club after the British government sanctioned owner Roman Abramovich for his close links to Russian President Vladimir Putin following the invasion of Ukraine. Chelsea's 3-1 defeat is the first leg at Stamford Bridge last week, followed a surprise 4-1 home defeat to Brentford in the Premier League, although Chelsea got back on track with a 6-0 thrashing of Southampton this weekend. And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Fola Shadi. Ogurinde. Bye for now.